ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Hell's Paradise. And honestly, this episode was very interesting, not just with everything that's happening on the island, and the mystery keeps deepening, to say the least, what's going on there. More about the characters, especially a bit focused on the decision to live for yourself, especially with two new characters that get introduced in this episode, and a bit more focused on Sagiri and her relationship or connection with Gabimaru, and also his changed that he has experienced ever since everything started. And it seems like next episode is gonna be very interesting also with the way this one ended. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now, it starts off a bit, we see a flashback with Sagiri and her father, with him looking down on her, and throughout the episode it's shown how much pressure and how everybody saw her throughout her life. But we're gonna get to that because she finally wakes up, and we find out she was actually poisoned. That's what happened. That's why she passed out in last episode. They helped her, carried her in a spot to have a camp there. She finally goes outside and sees every one of them doing their own thing, working there. Gabimaru was cooking. Yuzuriha did the most important job, honestly. She was supervising, of course. I like her so much as a character. And Gabimaru, Gordon Ramsay over here cooking some Ikatsugan, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, was decent, even though Yuzuriha had some complaints. We're gonna get to that. And he also scouted the island. They finally discuss a bit what they know, their current situation, and things like that. And Gabi made a very interesting choice there, and I'm really glad he did. He lied to Yuzuriha about knowing more about the elixir. The village chief, he probably had it or some connection to it, saying this was the first time he heard about it. And I'm really glad he doesn't instantly trust her or even shared that information to see what she would do with it. Because while I like Yuzuriha quite a lot so far, she seems like the most fun character from the series, she's not meant to be trusted. And even she said it. Last episode it was her episode. She stole the show. Now, there's some assumption, and apparently seems that the plants on the island used to be humans, the ones that were sent there in expedition transformed. So the island getting more and more creepier, to say the least. And this was the complaint that Yuzuriha had, or shocked when she heard that. She thought the food was made with the human plant, but Gabimaru used the ones that couldn't have possibly been humans, the normal ones that grow pretty much everywhere. But there was an interesting reaction there from her. Now, what I really liked was I was a bit correct from last episode with Senta, the glasses guy from Yamada, the guy that looks like me, short, much smarter than me and more skilled than me, has a better life than me. I'm joking, but yeah. He's a bit chubby, and he seems to be the one with the cooler head, analyzing a bit, saying that they could be looking at everything quite wrong. They don't have all of the information. Even the concept they have with that clue might be completely way off. They have to focus on the statues, what's around them. There's so many things that are not connecting with what they know, or at least what they thought they know, with what's happening right now on the island. And even saying that the monsters are weird. They sort of have a body, but they also don't have reproductive organs. They're like an amalgamation of something created together. And the best was Yuzuriha saying directly, they have no dicks. Yes, Yuzuriha, they have no dicks there. And apparently they can be classified as malformed gods in their own words there. And the way that image looked, that scenery there, just I can't even actually put it into words how they're gonna understand this right now. Seems like this is a complete mystery, having no information about this horrifying thing that is in front of you and also trying to kill you at the same time. But the image is there with Sagir in the middle, looked amazing, and Gabimaru getting excited to finally have something to go on, saying that the elixir might actually be here, a chance for him to go back to his wife. But this is where we see the episode starts focusing a bit more on Sagiri and then swapping to the new characters. But with Sagiri here, Genji, again, same mentality as the eye patch guy. Honestly, even forgot his name. He has been so useless, probably the most useless character in the entire series. Has the same thing to tell Sagiri: go back, you're a woman, you shouldn't do this, go marry the next clan head and have kids. Of course, that backwards old mentality, seeing woman only good for their belly there. Now, Sagiri refusing, and he asked a very important question, saying, can you actually kill Gabimaru if you're gonna stay on the island? And commenting that your sword is not even yours, she took one off the field there. But man, he's such an asshole there, and I don't know if Sagiri could actually kill Gabimaru, let alone in skills and fighting, things like that, but actually have the determination to kill him, especially more after this episode, and how connected they're becoming the more they're talking there. Now, until we get to the full conclusion of what she decides, we have Sentai making a very good point. Can you even go back even if you wanted? I don't think so, or at least it's not gonna be that easy, because they actually show it. We get these two new characters which I kinda liked quite a lot. Tenza, this guy looks like Naruto and he even acts a bit like Naruto. He's very honest, very self-centered on helping people to a fault there, and also kind of dense and stupid at the same time, but in a fun way. And we're gonna get to that. He was on a boat with Uruguay, which I had, just by the voice and how she was acting, I was like, she's a girl, but the dude probably has no idea. She seems like the brains of the duo that they have there. She was the criminal, he was the assignment assigned to her, and yeah, she has the brain, to say the least. But they're trying to go out to leave the island, and they go to this ship graveyard, and it's full of monsters. So this island seems to be more like a prison of sorts, or entrapment. Once you go in, it's not gonna be as easy to get out, because even the monsters probably let them go into the island. They didn't attack them while they were heading to the island, but when you're trying to leave, they're gonna go after, and they're a bit different than the monsters from the island. And Tenza fucks up a bit, goes, instantly draws his sword, which draws the attention of the monster. They get attacked. There's this huge kraken monster with butt cracks on its tentacle of sorts, just grotesque, creepy monsters there. And this is where we get a bit more information on Uruguay, part of the Sanka bloodline, a flashback with her grandfather being killed there, and Tenza kept pushing her to leave. Will you die? And her grandfather also at the same time part of Emishi, sort of like rebels that didn't want to live under the shogun, which this is how we see the tragic backstory with her village. Her people were killed. I think she was deceived by some samurai, because they're killing anybody that they refused to live under the shogun. She led one of them to the village, and she blames herself for everything that happened. She has a lot of survival guilt, trauma throughout this episode, and very understandable considering what happened to her. And I hope that shogun dies. I hope somebody's going to kill that shogun, to say the least. But Tenza is a very honest guy, a very good person. He wants to help her. This is where we see her survival guilt steps in Tenza doing her best to save her, to snap her out of it, even asking her, do you want to die? A straight question, and she finally admits, I don't want to die. She was ready to let go of everything Darren, but she finally gets back up on her feet, at least mentally, physically. She wasn't wounded. Tenza got a bit hit. They finally work together, and they barely make it out of that ship graveyard, but back on the island, which they're not out of danger yet. They're kind of sort of back in more danger, at least not imminent danger, but considering what that island is, I hope they survive even more after what happened here. We also find out that the currents kind of just lead you back to the island, so it's just you're stuck there. And this is where Nurugai finally reveals she's a girl, and Tenza realized being fully shocked, even admitting he's kind of stupid here. And she instantly said, "I've fallen for you, let's get married after we did." But in such a cute way. I hope they survive, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Seems like that type of show where you have character like this, you get a bit attached to them and they end up dead. I hope at least Nurugai is going to survive, because I kinda like her even more after her backstory, and she looks very, very good. But we're gonna see. Maybe they're gonna meet up with our main group of characters. They're also looking for allies. We're gonna have to keep our eyes for these two new characters, which seem quite interesting. But back in the main focus of the episode, Sagiri, Genji still insisting for her to leave. Even Senta coming and saying he half agrees, you should leave just for your own sake, but at the same time I also hope you stay, because if Gabimaru goes out of control, you're the one that can stop him, because he's different, he changed, and that's very, very true. Both of them have changed with their interactions together there. He kind of is able to go more into his emotion, be more honest with himself, and actually started caring about people, specifically her. He even saved her there, and even the conversation right after that at night, saying, even Gabi admitting he was worried about her. She was very, very shocked there, and fully saying it out loud. Out loud, he calmed because of her. He finally got more resolve to live for his wife and face everything on, and that kind of resonated quite a lot with Sagiri, because she's also dealing with a lot of internal and external things for herself and her life, and this was very important for her. And this is why I think they're getting more and more closer. I don't mean in a romantic way, more of a deeper connection than that, or a different connection than that. But he even said, you're stronger than me, but doesn't know how exactly she's stronger, in skill, in power, in mentality, and things like that. But he at least sees her and respects her. He sees her not as just a woman or an incubator, how Genji was seeing her throughout the episode, or that useless guy, which I'm not even gonna bother remembering his name here, but that resonated quite a lot with her. He was probably the first one in her life that saw her, the real her, and accepted her. They're even commenting, people understand themselves less than we think, and that's very true. We all have a lot of things that we think we know about each other, but we don't, and a lot of things we have yet to discover, which comes with experience also. But that was enough for Sagiri to finally make up her mind to live for herself. Living for yourself, this is very important, and I'm sure all of us have had our own doubts, changes, internal things that we have struggled with. This is why I kind of liked this episode. It was a bit different than the previous one. Last one was a bit more action heavy, mystery and things like that. This was more character driven episode, which I liked it. But she finally says she's not going to leave to Genji's face. With that, it didn't take no. Very good, being very, very dense, and she tried to explain it to him very calmly, civilly, and reasonably. Everybody told her the same thing her entire life, and please see me as a samurai. She even pleaded with him, bowed down, but the dude didn't want to do it. And when she said everyone wants to decide how to live, and that's very, very true. But Denji, being this stuck up asshole, he actually draws his sword. But I liked how she handled that situation. It felt like that slow motion movement like a master. She took away, she stole her sword before he even realized what happened there. So she's very skilled. She's probably ranked lowest, but I have a feeling she's probably the most skilled out of all of the Simon. We haven't seen all of them, but so far she seems like her skill is very, very high up there. But before anything else could happen, we have the giant dude right behind Genji, and she's like, and the dude just slapped like sort of half his abdomen away, and that's when the episode ends. So fuck you, Genji. So yeah, next episode is going to be interesting, but I don't know who's going to kill that guy, because swords broke against him, so that's going to be interesting. Is it going to be Gabimaru? Are we gonna see Yuzuriha fight Senta maybe, or Sagiri is going to fight him? I don't know yet if she's capable of defeating him. Would be nice maybe after she got her resolve here in this episode. But yeah, next one is going to be exciting, because we're gonna have a fight, and the island is more and more fucked up the more I watch this series. So I'm having a lot of fun with the series, the mystery deepens. Also really curious what you guys thought about the episode. What do you think about the new characters that we have from this one? What do you think about Sagiri, her own internal struggles? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. And make sure to check out the podcast, Because Anime. Keep enjoying Hell's Paradise. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.